I can't believe it's actually something that people are discussing now, but Love Live really needs to slow down at some point. In recent years, the franchise's group have only been ramping up their activities. If you follow any form of updates, you notice that almost once a week, there's something new going on with one of the groups. It's always an announcement, a new collab, a new appearance on TV, or live stream. It was usually like this with one group in the spotlight. But with Aqua, Nijigasaki, Liella, and now the VTubers on their way with a less than questionable future, I feel like it's time to slow it down. At least with Aqua and Nijigasaki, their activities were a bit slower. Aqua has a new anime on the way, but that's about it. Nijigasaki is still active, they have an anime OVA on the way and maybe another season or movie. They seem to be continuing their live action activities. Liella, on the other hand, is moving at an incredibly breakneck speed. They're just going and they don't seem to slow down. With nearly 3 years, they've had 3 tours with 10 to 12 performances each. They have 2 going on 3 seasons of an anime with a larger future. They have more girls joining the group, and the Seiyu are being pushed more than ever in terms of advertising. None of the groups have ever had live action MVs besides Aqua, but Liella still has more and will probably have more. It's not even necessarily paying off for the group. It was noticed before that Liella isn't necessarily selling out their venues during the 3rd tour, which was supposed to end at a Tokyo Dome tour. Their views on YouTube aren't even breaking records either. And just so I can clarify on the selling out venues, I believe it was one of the venues for the earlier ones. I'm not sure where it was. But it was a smaller one. It was about 5,000 for a venue, and that wasn't sold out as they were still advertising ticket sales on their Twitter. And the fact that they weren't able to sell out a small venue like that was a bit worrying, because they had to go to the Tokyo Dome in about a month, and if they couldn't sell out a small venue, who's to say they're going to sell out the Tokyo Dome? Area from the future here, just to clarify. The smaller venue was 15,000. I'm not too sure where it was, but it was in Osaka. And it was not the Tokyo Dome, it was the Balluna Dome, otherwise known as the MetLife Dome, which has 30,000, as Tokyo Dome has 50,000. Now, before you get on my ass for caring about views and their clout, I mean, despite how much they're being pushed in all forms, they're still not close to being the biggest reason why people know or care about Love Live. And that's just really sad. With all the staff is doing to push the group, they're nowhere close to being the biggest or most popular group. Now, obviously that's a given, they're the newest group, but they're being pushed so hard and it's not even paying off much. Now, I don't blame the girls themselves, I assume it's not their fault. The girls are simply the models, they're the ones being shown off and advertised. That's why they're pushed so often to do a bunch of different and crazy things. That's why Liella has 2 official live action music videos. It's no wonder their fault, it's the staff's fault, and now it's reaching a dangerous point. Now, this part of the discussion has a lot of contention since it's something no one really knows or can confirm. But I'll touch on it just a bit because it's the most debated topic right now. Kanon Shibuya, or her Seiyu Sayuri Date, has been faltering a bit when it comes to her vocals lately. Now, my knowledge for the Seiyu themselves is a bit limited, but from what I know, she is a wonderful singer. If you've watched the anime or heard any Liella song, you know when Kanon sings. She's a clearly talented singer. But it's not been the same since her first live performance in 2021. During the live, she struggled a bit, but she did her very best. But as time crawled on, she's seemingly doing worse with it. The point that people finally noticed this was with her newest solo song on Liella's 2nd album. Her new solo titled Free Flight sounded a bit off. Almost as if she was straining her voice the entire time. The song has her singing a much higher register than usual for all the choruses, and it's very noticeable. Now, before I go on, it's a good point to make that a major factor for the Love Live girls and their Seiyu is that most of them don't have to be expert singers. Someone like Kanon Matsuda or Daya aren't expert singers, but they still try to remain in their natural register when doing their character voice. Sure, some of them try to go out of their comfort zone, like Kanon Seiyu, Kanon Matsuda, her solo Run Kakeru Run, which she sang in a higher pitched voice at times. Which, like I said, Kanon Matsuda, or Suo Nanaka, isn't the greatest singer ever, but she does her best and she typically sounds good since she stays in a good and natural register. Sorry for the tangent, but this all ties into Kanon Shibuya, who Seiyu is a very naturally talented singer. Hell, even her portrayal in the first season of Superstar was of how good of a singer Kanon was. It's the reason why Kuku even found Kanon. That Subarashi Koi no Hito was a key element to the anime. But now we're at a point where Kanon is struggling to sing her natural voice. It's not helping that Sayuri's been struggling to sing live, like I mentioned. Haven't really kept up with the concerts, but there's been multiple reports of Sayuri straining her voice or not being able to sing as well during it. and it's only getting worse since the first live. Let's not forget that Liella's had 3 tours in less than 2 years, and has done upwards of 40 live performances, all of which are full-length concerts. If Liella's constantly being pushed to do so many live performances and appearances, it's not out of the question that they're not getting the proper vocal rest and care for it. Let's not forget that this has happened before with other girls as well, where in Aqua, Mari or Aina Suzuki was unable to sing for a few performances. I believe she was performing, but she wasn't singing. She was lip syncing with playback. So that was her way of getting the proper rest while being able to perform. So it's happening anyway. It's not out of the question that some of the groups may not be getting the same vocal rest. Now, some of them may be, like Aqua not being able to perform as often, they're getting more rest than they need it. But then there's other groups like Liella who's not getting enough rest. Now, about Liella struggling with their vocals, there's a wonderful thread about this on Twitter by Chika-chan Beam, who actually follows me, so if you see this, hi. But there's a whole thread where she's explaining why Sayuri is much more strained, and it's coming from somebody who actually does singing and who's in choir. So she has some sort of backing to this. And the entire thread has replies filled with people who are noticing that Sayuri is struggling with her vocals. So if, as somebody who's not really big in Liella, can still see it and other people are noticing it, then there is a problem there. If the main girl of a group is starting to fall short with her vocals when the group has only been active for about 2.5 years, that's not a good sign. I'm sure I can speak for everyone when I say that we don't want to see another Seiyu graduate from a role. Seeing Tomori graduate from Setsuna's role was a disappointment for the less interested, but devastating for the highly invested. I don't think anyone else can handle another graduation, especially since Love Live groups are so tightly knit that it's hard to really see one girl without her group. I'm rambling once again, so I apologize, but basically at the end of the day, Love Live really needs to slow down with their activities. At least do one at a time, or don't force everything down the audience throats. I've seen plenty of people start to falter or lose interest completely in the franchise because there's just so much to take in. Being a Liella fan is being spoiled, because every new activity is just another day. You get something every other day. But being an Aqua fan makes it seem like every activity is a whole event, something you should prepare for. My point here is that every new concert, activity, or livestream should be an event, not something to expect every week. But with that, I sincerely wish Liella and Sayuri the best of luck. It only seems like they're going to keep getting continually pushed until they physically cannot anymore. With the new season and more girls on the way, it's only going to keep ramping up. And I really am not a fan of that. Kanon Seiyu, Kanon. How's her last name? Forgot. Kanon Shibuya. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot that.